السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Final revision for grade 9 advance. The question number 1. The figure shows the structure of atom as conceived by Thomson. What does the figure represent? This figure represents what? Theory of the atom, or model of the atom, or hypothesis of atom, or law of atom. It represent model of atom. What do I mean by model? Model, we can represent something, we cannot see it, we cannot deal with it, we cannot touch it. Like atom is very small, we cannot see it. So that Thomson and other scientists make a lot of models to represent atom. Question number 2. A is a statement about what happened in nature and seem to be true in all the time. What happened in the nature, it is a scientific law. A scientific law, we can predict by using this law what will happen in the nature. Number 3. Newton provide an explanation for why objects fall. He proposed that the object fall because the object and earth are attracted by a force. Which of the following represent the Newton said? What the Newton said? It is explanation, it means it is theory. So that the answer will be a scientific theory. A scientific theory is explanation for something happen around us. Next question, what is the base unit of time? The base unit of time is what? Second, exactly. What about minute and hour and day? It's also, we use it to measure time, but the base unit for time is second. The base unit for mass is kilogram, the base unit of length is meter, and so on. Number 5. What is the number of significant digits in the measurements 2.002? The number of significant, we can count it 1, 2, 3, 4. There is 4 significant figure in this number. The answer will be 4. Question number 6. Decide which of the following prefixes is the biggest: centi, milli, deci, or kilo. I think all of us know there is a prefixes, different prefixes. Centi equal 10 to the negative 2, it's common. Milli, it's 10 to the negative 3. Deci, 10 to the negative 1. Kilo, 10 to the power 3. Which one is the biggest? It's clear to all of us, it is kilo. It's kilo is the biggest prefixes. Question number 7. The variable is the factor that is changed or main plotted. The dependent variable is the factor that depends on the independent variable. There is dependent and independent variable. If I need to draw graph like this, in x-axis we write independent variable. In y-axis we write what? We write dependent variable. Independent variable, we can change it by ourselves. We can change it, we can increase it. Like time, we can calculate, we can measure position for something move during the time, so that the time changing it called independent. The position we measure it called dependent. So that which variable we can change it or manipulated during the graph, it is independent. Independent, we can change it. Dependent, we can measure it. The next question, according to the table next to measurement of length of box by 4 students, each with 3 attempts to measure. If you know that the real length of the book is, this is the real length, he gave us the real length is 30.3 centimeter. Which student has the most precise measurement? Which student has the most accurate? Most accurate, it means the measurement is very, very, very close to the real length. If there is a student measure the length of the book and he get or she get 30.3 centimeter, it will more accurate, it will most accurate. Okay, and what about more or most precise? Most precise, it means the measurements, it's near to each other, it's very close to each other. Look to the table. As you see, there is a different student, Sheikha, Awatif, Aisha, Layla. Sheikha take 3 measurements, 33.9, 31.1, 29.0. These readings, these measurements is very far away from each other. There is no measurement near to 30. So that Sheikha measurements not precise and not accurate. What about Awatif? Awatif measurements 30.2. It's very close from 30.1. It's also close to 30.4. But let us check about Aisha and Layla measurements and the comparison with Awatif. Aisha 32.5, 32.4, 32.5 again. These readings, these measurements, it's very, very, very close from each other. It's the same number, 32.5, 32.5, 32.4. So that Aisha, it's most precise. Aisha measurements is most precise. What about Layla? 32.3, 29.8, 34.1. It's very far from each other. It's not precise and not accurate. Now Awatif, it gets 30.2. It get again 30.1. It get again 30.4. It's near from 30.3. So that Awatif readings or Awatif measurements, it's more accurate or most accurate than other. The next question is, according to the law, x divide y equal constant. If a graph is plotted with x against y, the graph would be a straight line or curved line or wavy line or circle. Let it check. If I write y from this equation, y will equal x divide constant. Suppose the constant equal 2. I suppose in constant equal to any constant. I will make a table. this table from x as independent variable. I put x 0, 1, 2 and 3. What about y? First one, if x equals 0, y will equal 0 over 2. It will equal 0. If x equal 1, y will be 1 over 2. It will be 0.5. If x equal 2, y will be 2 divide 2. It will be 1. And so on. 3 divide 2. It will be 1.5. If I need to draw this relation between x and y, I will make like that. I put x in x-axis and y-axis. x 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. Y I make it 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2 and so on. 0.5, 1, 1.5. When x equal 0, also y equals 0. When x equal 1, y it will be 0.5. When x equal 2, y it will be 1. And if x is 3, y it will be 1.5 and so on. This is the straight line, the relation between y and x. It's direct proportional. If x increases, y also will be increases. It's straight line relationship. The next question about what does the area of rectangle represent? Look to this figure. This figure, velocity time graph. Velocity in y-axis, time in x-axis. VT graph. In VT graph, the slope equal what? Exactly, the slope equal acceleration. If I calculate the slope for this graph will be acceleration. The second, what about area? Area equal what? Area under the graph equal displacement. So that he asked me, what does the area of rectangle, the area equal what? Equal displacement. Why? Because it is velocity time graph. Velocity time graph. Okay? The next question. According to the position time graph, this is another graph. It's called the position time graph. In position time graph or XT graph, sometimes we write it like that, XT graph. In position time graph or XT graph, we can calculate velocity. From what? From slope. يبقى the slope equal velocity. All of you know the slope equal y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Y it mean y-axis, x it mean x-axis. In physics, we can write it in physics, the slope or the velocity equal, in y-axis it represents position, x final minus x initial divide t final minus t initial. Okay. So that he asked about what time did the ant, according to the position of the ant moves on the x-axis, what time did the ant reach to the distance 8 meters? He asked about the time when the ant, this insect, reached to this position, 8. From the starting point. Okay. Where is the position 8? This is the position 8. We draw horizontal line like this. It's not clear. I draw a line like this. This line intersect with the graph. After that, I draw another vertical line. We reach to the 3 second. So that at 3 second, this insect reach to position 8. I hope it's clear, inshallah. 3 seconds. What does the slope of the line equal? The slope of the line equal velocity. The next question. According to the next graph, answer items. Number 14. At which interval of time, A or B or C or D, the acceleration is positive? This is velocity time graph. We write from little V, يعني velocity, T, it means time graph, VT graph. The slope equal what? Equal acceleration. Good. Which acceleration positive? A equals 0. C equals 0. The slope for B is positive. The slope for D is negative. Exactly. At which interval of time A, B, C, D, the acceleration is positive? B is positive slope. At which interval of time A, B, C, D, the acceleration is 0? As you see, acceleration is 0 at A and C. At A segment and C segment, the acceleration equal 0. A and C, number 1. The next question. Answer the following items. Complete the building of chart organizer. Place the appropriate item in its proper place. This is a scientific thinking or scientific how to think in scientific method, yes. Place the appropriate item in proper places. The first step is state the problem. The second is what? Is test the hypothesis or analyze data or gather information or form a hypothesis or draw conclusion. Exactly. It is gathering information. State the problem and then I will collect the information about this problem. If I put like that, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to be easy. Number 1 it will be gathering information. Then I form the hypothesis for this problem. Number 3, test this hypothesis. Number 4, analyze the data we collected from this hypothesis. Then draw a conclusion I hope it will be the correct sequence of this scientific method. Question number 17. Find the distance traveled by a vehicle in 12 minutes if its speed is 30 kilometers per hour. He asked about distance. The distance is D. Question mark. The time T. And the speed is V. But there is a problem. Distance, we all of us know the distance measured in meter and kilometer and mile, different units, but we use meter, so that we need distance in meter. Time in minute. How to convert minute to second? Great, exactly. Multiply by 60, so that 12 times 60 will be equal, using your calculator, 12 times 60, it will be 720 seconds. The speed in kilometer per hour, V equal 30 kilometer per hour. To convert from kilometer per hour to meter per second, multiply by 1000, divide 3600. The answer will be 30 times 5 divide 18, or 1000 divide 3600. It will be 8.33 meter per second. Now we have the given. We need distance, we have time, we have speed. The equation is speed equal distance divide what? Divide time. We can write it like that, V equal D over T, so that distance equal speed multiplied by time, V multiplied by T. Distance equal V 8.33 meter per second multiplied by time 720 seconds. The answer will be 6,000 meter. I can write it like that, 6 times 10 to power 3 meter. We can write it like that, 6 kilometer. I change 10 to the power 3 by kilo. The next question. The speed of a body is the distance traveled per unit time. What is the SI unit of speed? SI unit for speed is meter per second. Is the unit of speed a base unit or derived unit? It is a derived unit, because the base unit, it's 7 units, like second, kilogram, Kelvin, meter, candela, and ampere, and mole, and 7 units, 7 base units. The next question. Muhammad moved 100 meters northward and then moved 140 meters southward. Find the resultant displacement. We can draw it to imagine what happened exactly. The first 100 meters to north, then he changed his mind and he changed the direction and moved down 140, as you see. We can write it 100 meter as displacement number 1 delta x1 equal 100 meter in positive direction, so that I write it 100 meter as a positive. What about displacement number 2? Displacement number 2 equal negative 140. Why it's negative? Because it's down to south. Okay? In this case, the resultant displacement or the total displacement total delta x equal delta x1 plus delta x2. It's a vector. We write it delta x1 100 plus delta x2 negative 140. Why negative? Because it's down. In this case, delta x equal negative 40 meter. It means this displacement equal 40 meter to south. Okay? It means displacement equal to 40 meter to south. The next question number 20? Okay. Number 20. Calculate the time needed a scooter accelerating and acceleration. Anyone remember the sign for acceleration? Exactly, the sign for acceleration is A, small a. So that acceleration equal 0.4 meter per second square. To go from rest it means V initial equal 0 meter per second to a speed of it means V final 4 meter per second. He asked about time. Calculate the time needed to velocity changing from 0 meter per second to 4 meter per second. It's very easy. Acceleration equal V final minus V initial divide time. If you remember this equation, it will be good. If you not remember this equation, you can remember this. V final equal V initial plus AT. This is the same of this equation. The both equation is the same. We can write like this. V final equal 4 V initial 0 plus 0.4 multiplied by time. 4 equals 0.4 multiplied by time, divide 0.4 divide 0.4. The answer will be what? 4 divide 0.4, we get 10. If time equal 10 what? 10 second